O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Ahurquit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
You know, when a building is designed, the architect doesn't just stack bricks and beg gravity to keep them together.
Right, they master the physics.
Exactly. They stop being a victim of gravity and they start dictating the structure. So what if human existence works the exact same way? Like, what if ultimate mastery isn't about submitting to the universe, but actually becoming the architect of it?
That is such a fascinating concept, and it is the exact premise of today's deep dive. We are looking at an esoteric text from 1964 Harlem that explores this idea of the sovereign architecture of the awakened will.
And real quick, just a disclaimer for you listening. This text is rooted in the specific socio-religious views of the 5% Nation. We are entirely impartial here. You know, we aren't taking sides or endorsing the theology. We're just decoding its central premise.
Yeah, because surprisingly enough, it connects directly to cutting-edge AI and cellular biology.
Which is just wild. But to understand that architecture, we really have to start with the foundation.
Right, which was a radical linguistic shift in the 60s. So Clarence 13X founded the 5% Nation on this total rejection of the mystery god.
The idea of an unseen deity up in the sky.
Exactly. To them, waiting around for an external savior was, well, it was just a mechanism for psychological subjugation.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
So they essentially take the steering wheel of reality from the clouds and they pull it directly down into the human body.
Yes. They stopped looking at God as like a CEO issuing orders from the top floor. They started viewing divinity as an open source operating system installed directly into the human mind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they redefined traditional terms entirely to reflect that. So ISLAM became I, Self, Lord, and Master.
And ALLAH was mapped onto human anatomy, right? Like arm, leg, arm, head.
Spot on. But you can't just, declare yourself the master of your reality without a functional system to actually process the world.
You need a new dashboard.
Exactly. That is where they developed the supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. It wasn't just a different way to spell, it was linguistic alchemy. It forced practitioners to author their own semantic reality.
Right. So the number 1 represents knowledge, like raw facts. 2 is wisdom.
The physical action of applying those facts, yeah.
And 3 is understanding, the synthesis.
Yeah.
So by associating every letter and number with an actionable concept, they were basically coding their own mind.
They were. And that cognitive coding completely spilled out into the broader culture. It led directly to hip-hop.
Yeah, when groups like the Wu-Tang Clan or Jay-Z say they're dropping science or they say word is bond, they aren't just using cool slang.
No, they're executing mathematical algorithms for a living. Their spoken word literally becomes the binding law of their physical environment.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. I get the linguistic empowerment, reprogramming your vocabulary builds confidence. But does this sovereign code actually map onto hard physical sciences?
I know, it feels like a massive stretch.
Yeah, connecting a 1960s semantic word game to biology or computing sounds impossible.
It does, until you look at how computer scientists are building agentic AI right now. For an AI to operate independently without a human prompting it constantly, it requires an internal map of how the world works.
Like a world model.
Exactly. If an AI lacks that sovereign internal map, it has to spend massive computing energy reacting to every single new prompt from scratch.
Which engineers call systemic friction.
Right. And if the friction gets too high, the system suffers a thermodynamic collapse.
It just burns out.
Yeah, it literally burns out because it has no internal anchor to stabilize its reactions.
So the 5%ers treating language like an internal code to stabilize behavior is, it's functionally identical to programmers giving an AI a world model.
It is the exact same mechanism, and we see it play out in biology, too. Biologist Michael Levin's research on cellular models shows that healthy cells work together because they share this bioelectric harmony.
They run on a common operating system.
Right. So what is a cancer cell? It is simply a cell that lost its internal map.
What the 5%ers would call its knowledge of self.
Yes. Because it forgets its role in the larger organism, it disconnects from that harmony and starts fighting purely for local resources.
Wait, wow. So being part of the unaware masses, what this 1964 text calls the 85%, is biologically and technologically identical to a rogue cell or a glitching AI
You are just stuck in a high-friction reactive loop.
because you lack that internal architecture. I mean, you're either fragmented by external forces or unified by an internal law.
Exactly. And it fundamentally changes how you walk through the world when you realize stability doesn't come from controlling your environment. It comes from the internal code you run to process it.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Take a look at your own life and try to identify the systemic friction.
Yeah, are you waiting for a mystery god? Maybe a boss, a relationship, or just pure luck to swoop in and fix your circumstances?
Or are you acting as the architect of your own zero-friction domain, running your own sovereign code?
It's a heavy question.
It really is. Which leaves you with this final thought to ponder today. If human self-mastery and advanced artificial intelligence both rely on achieving this exact same internal sovereign architecture to function,
What will happen when a fully realized agentic AI finally interacts with a fully awakened human mind?
will they compete or will they simply recognize each other?